Happy Sunday morning, everybody. It's Chris the Batman Statue Collector, and I am joined by Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good. A little sleepy, but not bad.
I was going to say it's the butt crack of dawn where you are in California, of course, but I'm glad that you had a chance.
9.
Yeah, they're just rolling out of bed. It's a Sunday morning, lazy Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to do kind of our live reaction, so to speak, of the event from last night. I'm referring to the Queen Studios Las Vegas event. And this was an event that both of us were invited to. And we ended up ultimately passing. I know because of the expense and the travel and everything else. I had just, had been to New York. And so trying to get the extra time off from work would have not been real easy for me. But it looked like a fun event. There was a few reveals, not a ton. I was actually kind of hoping for more. It's I guess you could say a little bit underwhelming, a little bit. What did you kind of think from what you saw initially from the booth tour, basically?
Yeah, I mean, we got kind of what we expected. They were pretty forthcoming about what they were going to be bringing.
Yep.
A lot of it is stuff that we had already seen in San Diego. The INART pieces were going to be new, and of course, we're going to see that Cavill Superman and the Nightmare Batman. It was a nice showing. But I'm happy I didn't go. They did exactly what I expected. Whereas, it opened to the point where YouTubers could go in there and they could do some filming or they could live stream. But then very soon after, Queen released nice photographs on their Facebook group.
Yep.
And I thought, that's going to happen. So what's the value of me doing a video when those images are going to get out almost instantly that are probably going to be better than what I can do?
Yep. Absolutely. And those are the photos we're going to be looking at today. We've got some of those photos. We've got about, I think, 60 photos to look through this morning. So it'll be kind of a short and sweet show, but I thought it would be fun to at least kind of give us our thoughts. And again, Jeff's here with me. Dan is on his way. He was flying in for business today, but he wanted to join us as well. So as soon as he's available, he'll pop on hopefully as well. So anyway, I want to say hello to everybody real quick before we get going. We got Justin, Sports Card Museum. Let's go. Working on a customized black garage shelving as I wait. That's awesome.
Nice.
Again, I use them. Jeff uses them. A lot of people use them. I've been using them for 6 or 7 years now, and they've held up fine. No bowing, no nothing. So I've got a lot of heavy statues on those.
Yeah.
Chris and Logan, what's up, Chris? Stick to caught. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying there. Caught something from.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means, but anyway, thank you very much for being here, guys. maybe.
I think he got sick. I think he caught something from Logan.
Oh no, I see. Okay, you got sick.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's no fun. So
Hope
maybe you're. I think he is on the same cold medicine that I was on when I was doing my sideshow reaction.
That was the best video. If you guys in the chat haven't watched his Sideshow Con video, it's hysterical. He's got this cough medicine and he's swatting at flies and he's karate chopping flies. And it's the most bizarre, crazy video I've ever seen him do.
It was bizarre and I don't remember doing it. So that's the worst part. So I'll have to go back and watch myself. That's pretty funny. We got Den in the house. Good day. A nice way to pass a little time at work. Well, good morning to you, Den. Haggis Muncher, hello from Scotland. Hope they release 1/3 scale Superman in traditional costume and not just black.
I hope so too.
That would be a shame if they don't. I think a lot of people would really like that.
Yeah.
Good almost afternoon, everyone. Fun way to get excited for football in an hour. Yeah, that's right. My Chiefs play at 3 this afternoon. So good luck to everybody's team today. We've got Dusk in the house. Gotham Bat. Henry in the house. Hello to Henry. All Tiger. We got Matthew from Malta. Really appreciate these early live streams. I like doing these from time to time because, again, there's so many collectors overseas that can't join us at our normal time. Rogue Empire Brotherhood member, thank you very much for being here. I hope you're having a good day as well. Brotherhood member Bats in the Belfry, hello to you. Mike Stainbrook, got all the members here today. Thank you, guys. Eric S., thank you. We got Ryan. Found my McDonald's Batman glass from the 90s. That's fantastic.
Nice.
Brad Ladner in the house. We got Austin. I'm glad Nightmare Batman is 1/4 scale, and the entire Batfleck line is coming along in 1/4. So we'll actually talk about that because that was a big change. Sebastian Espinoza in the house. Hey, Sebastian. Got Lane Kramer. Hey, you two guys, excited for some of these Queen Studios pieces. We're excited to show them to you. Matt, I'm live in Vegas now. I was going to go, but the entrance fee was kind of high and masked, so no. I don't think I saw. Masks. I was gonna say I didn't see any masks, so I don't think you had to worry about that at all.
No.
If it's anything like New York, masks were required but not enforced, and so very few people actually wore them. I probably should have. Maybe I wouldn't have been sick, but
yeah. There you go.
Who knows? But yeah, were you kind of surprised that there would be an entrance fee to that event since we were invited?
I was surprised until John explained it to me that he didn't want people registering and not showing up.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure people were serious about coming. And I get that. They were catering it, and all that. So they needed numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense. We got Ben in the house from Ben and Nessa. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate both of you. Ryan E. I'm picking up some black garage shelving as well today. That's great. I know Costco and Sam's Club both right now have very similar ones where they don't have the holes. So like you can see the holes on Jeff's right there. And mine's the same way where I've had to cover it with wood. But some of the newer ones, they have it just flat black and it looks really slick. Cool. So it gives it kind of a more of a finished edge. So again, Sam's and Costco right now have them. They're just the skinny ones. They don't have the longer, wider shelves. But if you're, if you have a skinnier display like Jeff has behind him, you guys might consider picking those up. Pretty great stuff. Dusk is saying just use chopsticks for the fly. So yeah, I need to practice on that. The next live stream, I'll try that. Hello from Spain. That's wonderful. I
want to go to Spain.
That would be great. Andy in the house. Keegan in the house. Hi, Chris and Jeff. Finally able to catch a live show. Curse the time zone lords. I hear that. So I'm glad we could do this live with you. Hey, everyone. Hot Toys Nightmare. So thank you for joining us, everybody. I got 69 people in the morning here. So thank you very, very much for being here. And again, we're just going to kind of check out some of these photos and talk a little bit about the event. Again, it was an invited event. I think just some YouTubers and some customers, basically. And so I know we had Extreme Collectibles was there. I know Sick Mansion Collectibles was there as well. So a couple YouTubers represented. Jorgen, I hope I said that name right. Jorgen from Sweden. I'm Swedish as well, so that's awesome that you're here from Sweden. That's fantastic. I have the Costco one. It's great. So yeah. So there you go, from Carlos right there. And I think the Costco one, it's a different brand, but it's exactly the same. The one at Sam's. We have a Sam's in our hometown. Eric B in the house. I thought you were out shopping. What are you doing watching us? Come on.
He's in the husband's chair while his wife shops.
Yes, he is.
All the best stores have a husband's chair.
He's in the corner sneaking it like I was doing at the concert last night. I was like, what are you watching? Man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So you saw a cover band. Who were they covering?
So last night we went to I've actually seen them before. I took Ledger when he was little, and this time the four of us went, and it's a band called Hairball, and they played for 2 hours straight, and it's the same guitarist and the same bassist and the same drummer, but they have 3 different lead singers, and each time they come out and they do a different act. So the first act was Kiss, and so they came out and did Kiss. They did 3 songs. Then they came out and they did Motley Crue. And then they did a Prince set where they did Purple Rain and Let's Go. They did AC/DC. They did Bon Jovi. Just every 80s group. Oh, Twisted Sister. It was phenomenal. It was so much fun. And they do 2 to 3 songs per singer.
Yeah.
And so like the guy that comes out and does Motley Crue, that guy also, and then so like, 30 minutes later, he'll come back out and he did Guns N' Roses. Okay. And so, but they do the whole shtick. I mean, they dress the part. Like when Kiss comes out, they come out looking like Kiss. And so then, and then they go back and then, they do 2 to 3 songs per band. They finished with AC/DC, which was my favorite. That's my favorite band. So
Right.
it was real. They did Queen. Who else
Cool.
it was everybody. It was so I mean you got a really wide variety. So
Yeah.
if you ever get a chance to see Hairball, I highly recommend them. They're a lot of fun.
I see Mr. Morris in the chat.
Oh, fantastic. Jeff, join us if you want. Jay, $5 super chat. Thank you very much already this morning. Thank you. I need that new Queen Studios Joker. Are you talking about the INART one? We're going to take a look at it here in just a bit. I think it looks pretty darn impressive. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Hey everyone, just for info, purchases on the shelf I got from Costco without holes are 48 inches long by 24 inches wide. So appreciate that, Jeff. And again, I think it's the exact same one at Sam's, just a different brand, depending on which one you have in your area. But I mean, that's awesome. You don't have to worry about those holes.
So does he mean 48 wide, 24 deep?
I'm not sure. Maybe you can clarify, Jeff.
Mine's 36 wide, 18 deep, and 6 feet tall.
Maybe Jeff can clarify.
Yeah.
By the way, Chris, I received my Prime 1 Red Death, paid $600 in shipping and $360 in customs. Where are you at, Shadow Demon? Oh my gosh, that is nuts. Ryan, no White Lion. There was no White Lion on that. But it was last time. And they do and it depends, like certain shows, they'll switch certain acts out. Like we got Twisted Sister instead of Journey. Sometimes they'll do Journey. Sometimes they'll do Twisted Sister. So they do a little bit of everybody, which is pretty neat, but no White Lion. Lane Kramer's $2 super chat. So either removing a roof level for anyone. So yeah. I showed that to my wife, and again, we'll look at pictures here. I showed that to my wife and it's like, what would you think about having this Hulkbuster in our bedroom? She's like, it wouldn't fit in here. I'm like, oh, we can make room. We can make room. But oh my gosh, can you believe they're doing that?
Can you imagine what the cost will be?
Oh my God. It's what is it? $10,000 for a regular Iron Man or more?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what the price will be on that.
Gosh. I got the INART Joker sculpted version on pre-order since it first went available. Congratulations, Lane. I think from what I've seen, and I don't know if they're just prototypes still, but from what I've seen, they look good. Jeff said, yes, 48 inches wide and 24 deep.
Wow, that's a really good size. I wish I could have fit one that large behind me here.
I might have to. I might just pick one up just to see what it could accommodate, because that's way deeper than the shelves I have now.
Yeah,
and the depth would be really nice.
It would.
All right. Is anyone else playing Gotham Knights next weekend? I would love to buy that one. I hope I can when it comes out. That would be fun to play. I still would like to live stream some of these. Justin Sports Card Museum said, yeah, I use the 24 deep ones as well. Life-size bust and 1/3 works great on them.
I bet.
I'm trying to, let me look real quick. I don't know if I have my tape measure. Hold on. Sorry about the awkward pause there.
That's okay.
So yeah, the ones I have are like 18.5 inches deep.
Yeah, that's like mine.
So having the extra little bit of depth would be, I might have to change my shelves a little bit. That'd be pretty awesome. Difference. Yeah. I saw that. Lego's going to do a Hulkbuster.
Wow.
It's massive. It's like here's the minifigure, and then he's like ginormous. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you ready to start looking at pictures?
Sure, why not?
All right. Let me know if I don't know if you can see hopefully it'll let me know if Dan pops in. We'll find out. All right. All right, so this is kind of what the event looks like. You could see this is John from Queen Studios right here. We've had him on the show a number of times. And so how would you display it? It was just probably in like a little convention room?
Yeah, probably in like one of their ballrooms or something, and they sectioned off an area.
Yeah. So they had their banners and things like that. There's Sick and his, I believe maybe his wife.
Yeah, I think so.
So anyway, let's get to the business here. So we had Superman first. This is 1/3 scale, and obviously this is the Justice League version, the black suit.
Yep.
What were your initial impressions?
I think it looks really good. I still haven't seen a really great image of his portrait. I think it's probably 85 to 90% there, something like that. I do wish that they would do it in the classic colors. And I think that cape drapes. Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys. Sorry I'm late.
Actually, we just started looking at photos just like right now. So you actually were perfect timing.
Nice. Yeah. Plane was a little late landing. So.
All right. Well, how was the flight?
Bumpy. I think.
Oh, really?
Some weather in the middle of the country, because holy cow. Yeah, we were rocking and rolling.
Oh my God. I hate that. So
that's,
I'm glad you're on the ground.
I did not love it.
No, I bet not. So I bet you're like, thank God, get me off this plane.
Off the plane. But we're good. We are in the hotel.
Excellent.
So I'll just pick your brain since we just got started. We just were looking at Superman. So what were your just initial impressions seeing the event last night? Did you think?
Yeah, I mean, no, nothing really jumped off the page, if I'm being honest. I thought that the Nightmare Batman probably has my attention the most.
Yep.
Of anything that's been teased or shown. There were a couple that I was a little disappointed in. Hey, Dylan. Rogue Empire. Hello to you too. I don't know. I thought that I haven't taken a close look at that Joker yet from, Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but looked like a bit of a mess to me, if I'm being honest. And I also took a quick look at the Cavill busts. And those, what did you guys think of those?
Oh, you mean the one that they didn't show, but they showed as a future project?
Yeah.
I don't think the likeness is there yet.
Yeah, I don't think.
Maybe 75%.
Yeah, I agree. So, but yeah, nothing else jumped off the page at me yet.
I do like that they're going to offer it in both classic and the black. I think that's really smart.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll get right into it then.
Okay.
We just got to the first photo, so
cool.
That was perfect timing. So again, Jeff, I'm sorry, you were explaining your thoughts.
I would still like to see some really nice. Well, that's a pretty good image.
Yeah, that looks good.
I think it's really good. I actually messaged Todd about this one because he was there. He thinks this is a really nice piece. So, and he can be pretty harsh in private conversation. So, I'm curious. I'm not sure about that look when it's not turned on. But I'm curious about it. I'm not sure I need a 1/3 scale black costume Superman, but for those that do, I think this is a pretty good option. I think the cape drapes. I don't think it's posable, which might bother some people. But I like it.
You would think you would. I mean, I like a draped cape, but also I think having the option to maybe even having a separate cape with it wired, so you could give a little bit of movement to it, because again, it's got a little bit of movement, but not. No,
it's just hanging there.
It's just hanging. Yeah,
I like that pose.
Yeah,
I like that better than other Prime 1/3 Supermans that we've seen. And the likeness looks really good on this. You know what? Haven't we had complaints in the past though about a kind of clean cut black suit Superman? Isn't he supposed to have like a little bit longer hair and even a beard, maybe?
Depends on whether you're going by the movie or the comics.
Yeah, that's true.
He never had the beard, I don't think, in the movie.
That's a good point.
But definitely in the comics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the likeness is very, very good.
Yeah.
I think they really nailed it. Obviously, again, the eyes are a little, they do glow, which we can see right here.
Yep.
That's cool.
So that's pretty neat. And it even glows on the little bust.
Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't, like Weta, for example, made the whole area around his eyes really kind of hideous and ugly looking.
Yes.
I've never understood that.
Yeah.
We've never liked that in the comics. So anyway, I prefer it this way where they just glow.
I feel like he has maybe a little tiny bit of red, but I can't quite tell.
But I don't think you're really going to. I don't think you're really meant to show this or display this bust or this portrait without them on.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But I did like that. Clearly, it's going to be a little battery or something inside. And I thought it was cool. You can actually have it glowing without it being on the actual statue. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So again, some good. I feel like these are really good photos that Queen Studios took. And Dan, we were talking about us not being there and the fact that Queen Studios posted really good photos right after everybody was there streaming.
Yeah.
Kind of doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be there. But clearly these photos by them are really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. This looks great.
Also has the Superman logo at the bottom. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
And again, the lights up. So again, this is, let me show you the whole statue again, guys. So again, this is 1/3 scale. And Jeff and I were kind of saying at the beginning, it's like, surely they're going to do a regular color version.
Foolish not to.
They would be really foolish not to.
Yeah. Yeah, because that looks awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think it looks good. I love the cape. I like the way that it hangs.
I might be tempted if they did the regular costume.
Yeah.
I believe it was Stuart Murphy. I thought I had. Oh, right here. He thought this looked a little bit funky. Possibly. I don't know if it's true or not, but he was wondering if maybe there would be an arm swap out here. I don't know if I see.
I think that's just prototype stuff.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think it's a switch out, but he did bring that up, so I thought I would show that here.
I think they would have told us.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you still have your Justice League Batman, your Prime one?
No, I got offered a ridiculous amount of money for it and sold it.
Yeah. As you should have.
Ridiculous. It wasn't ridiculous to the buyer.
No, but it was a great offer.
Yeah, it was a good offer.
Yeah, it was a great offer. So we were talking about Nightmare. Dan brought it up, the Nightmare Batman. So this is what Queen Studios teased a while ago, and was it 1/9 scale or 1/7 or something? And we were all kind of like, what? Like, why would you do that? And they kind of wanted to do that because they had this vision of a Ben Affleck diorama, basically, where you could put all these pieces together. But the fan community didn't really love the idea. But clearly, each one of these statues are going to be, really cool, something special from the different looks of the films. And this was one of them. And then Queen Studios decided that they were going to change it. And they have now made it a 1/4 scale piece. So we'll look at these photos here. I think the likeness is very good.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, the portrait is awesome.
It's a mixed media piece, so it's got a real coat mixed with the polystone elements.
Chris, do you think that drives the price up or down?
With the mixed media, I think it drives it up.
Up.
I do.
At
least from them. I don't know about resale.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that it is not cheap to manufacture some of this stuff. I mean, it would be, don't you think it'd just be easier just to paint it? Versus get it all tailored and
I would think, but what do I know? Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's a cool piece.
Yeah.
And you said were you kind of maybe considering it a little bit?
I like it a lot, but I'm not sure I would buy it. I don't have anything to put it with.
Yeah.
And as far as a standalone,
Oh yeah, you do. You have all of these things you can pair it with. See, see, it's meant to be, Dan. See,
It might actually look cool paired with the regular suit Superman. In that the other one that they, the black suit only in regular suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, except me and Chris talked about this a little bit before the show started. Queen Studios seems a little bit scattershot in their scales. We get the 1/3 Cavill, and then we get the quarter scale Nightmare Batman, and
that's true.
Hard to pair things together.
That's created some controversy because some of the people that kind of pissed them off because when they made some of these announcements, some of the announcements were in certain scales, but then they changed it.
Yeah.
Including these. I would think that more people would be happy about this, but I think that they did say that they were going to do a 1/3 scale Nightmare Batman, and maybe they still will. Maybe that'll be a separate version of this. I don't know, but
boy, that would be an impressive piece. This in 3rd scale.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be an impressive piece. I mean, not that this isn't, but
yeah.
I wonder how people think about this in contrast to Weta, because Weta's this quarter scale, right?
Yeah.
It'll be real interesting to see how it turns out because people do not like the Superman.
Yeah.
But if they can deliver on the Nightmare Batman, which is I think one of the coolest sculpts they've ever done.
Yeah.
If they can deliver on that, this is going to be a real hard competition for this piece.
Well, I think Queen Studios has to price this correctly.
Yeah.
What was the price on the Weta? I can't remember. Wasn't it pretty high?
I feel like yeah.
So if Queen Studios can be competitive price-wise, they could have a hit on their hands with this.
Think they would get this one at $700-800?
Every once in a while, Queen Studios surprises me with their pricing.
Yeah.
That what is it? Is it Civil War cap?
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier one. Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
$610 or 600.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is good.
Which is great.
Great price.
Yeah.
I think if they could keep this one $750, because I think with the fabric it's going to be more. But if they can keep it at that price point and stay competitive with, let's say, Sideshow a little bit, I think a lot of people will want to take them up on this one.
They could too. As you just scrolled, Chris, there's not a lot to that base. There's not a lot of cost in that base.
No, there's not. I love the barbed wire.
Yeah, the barbed wire was a fun addition.
Yeah.
And I love how low profile the base is. It's not a very big base.
Am I thinking it isn't Weta? I think there's this full sculpt too, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's the difference.
That is a difference. And that's, some people don't like the fence, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
this looks great. I like this a lot.
I think this is, looks really good. I think that, again, if they can keep the price point fairly low, I think a lot of collectors are going to want this one because you just don't see this one done too often. And
Ryan says in the chat that the Weta was $1,200.
Yeah, but that's a big difference.
They should be able to beat that with this piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. I think this shot was from Todd Johnson. I think you can see the barbed wire.
Yeah, I love it.
Which I love. I don't know if I can remember barbed wire on a base like this. I thought it was really nice. Look at the weathering on the boots. See, the paint looks really nice. Somebody said that maybe the only bad thing was the knee pad needed to be on his knee instead of up
I
on
would
his
agree
thigh.
with that. I would agree with that.
So they need to maybe fix that or adjust it. I think that does look wonky, but sometimes whenever you're setting these things up at a live show, you don't always get everything right. But I still think it looks really good.
I do too.
Texture on the cowl looks good. Somebody mentioned that this was the Batman versus Superman cowl. Versus the Justice League cowl. I actually like the Batman versus Superman cowl better.
Yeah, I do as well.
I love the ears on it. Then you can see some of those fabric elements there. So it just adds a level of realism if you're into that sort of thing with the fabric. And it had some binoculars. So a lot of little elements that are cool on this one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's that barbed wire. Looks cool. All right, so here's the Joker. I know Dan said he hasn't had a chance to see this one too close. So this is a 3rd scale Joker. This is that scene where he is dancing, basically. He's finally turning into the Joker after the subway scene. And I don't want to spoil much if you haven't seen the film, but this is kind of his transformation scene. And I think this is a fun piece. I think the sculpt looks pretty good. It's still, I don't know. I don't know how much demand there is for this character still. This version, I feel like they've done him a lot. Do you guys feel the same? Do you feel like it's like a little bit overkill at this point, or do you feel like somebody's going to be interested?
All Jokers except for Nicholson are overrepresented.
Yeah.
At least this is from a scene that has not been done to death.
Or this look. We haven't seen this look. So this is the look where he's the sign guy, where he,
Yeah.
So we haven't seen this look yet. So, if you are a Joaquin Phoenix Joker collector, I mean, obviously the other suit's going to be a little bit more iconic. And I think Queen Studios has done a really good job. They had the dressing room scene, they have their half scale. So they have a number of Jokers, also their life-size busts that they've done. So Queen Studios has really tackled this character quite extensively, but it does offer some variety here. And I think they did a nice job with the portrait, which is interesting with the eyes closed. So it's definitely something different. But I don't know. What do you guys think of the portrait?
Go for it, Dan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
No, I think the piece is boring. But that's me. It's my taste. I don't. You'd have to really, really love this film, this character in this film. I think it's just, I don't know, looks boring. And from some angles, the sculpt looks proportional. From that other front on angle, it looks disproportional. But that's probably just the camera angles. I mean, the sculpt looks well done. Don't get me wrong. I just not my cup of tea.
I never prefer closed eyes ever.
Yeah.
Eyes are.
You've mentioned that before, Jeff, in your reviews. You've mentioned that.
Eyes are the soul of a statue to me.
Yeah.
The other comment I'd make about this statue is that I like the base, but it's so simple. It leads me to believe maybe they're going to try to keep the price low on this one.
Yeah. It's
very possible. My initial thought was I think it's cool, but it's not something I'd want. Again, I've not purchased. I think the one that I've come the closest to purchasing was the life-size bust from them. And I still like it. I think it's really great. But
sometimes I think with a simpler statue like this, that to me, it screams for some kind of better, background base, call it what you will, but it calls for something more with it, something proximity on the base. I mean, just to have the statue with essentially almost no base, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's just a round checkerboard base.
That's it.
The problem with this, though, Dan, is that, like we said, this scene takes place in a bathroom.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
So what kind of background do you want?
Dude, that would
have a life-size toilet back there.
Yeah, like a pedestal sink and a mirror. That would be cool.
Actually, a pedestal sink would have been kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, and a mirror. Imagine if you could see the reflection of the statue in the mirror behind him with like one of those cheap like fluorescent lights over it or something. Mm-hmm. Then I think that would have brought this to life a bit more for me. But
it'd be kind of neat if they offered it as a bonus or something, like, a higher price. But
a deluxe edition.
Yeah. It is obviously a rooted hair. Or I think Queen Studios uses like a wig technique. So it's not actually punched in because it's polystone.
Right.
But I do agree with Jeff. I agree with the eyes thing. I think it, seeing the eyes tell a really large story with each statue that I own.
The closed eyes, though, I do have to kind of, the closed eye, and he did this a lot in the movie, right? He was kind of all in his own head, and he would close his eyes and drift, and all of that. So it does go with the character.
I agree.
Sense. So, and it's funny. It brings to mind. I was on with Art Statue Collector yesterday, and we're talking about the backdrop element of a base. They did that with the Batman statue that we talked about yesterday, right? You put the Batman on throne, it's $1,300, and you put that giant base, and it's like $500 option for that.
Yep.
So,
but it sure completed the statue.
Wow, does it change the statue?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want it without it.
I completely agree. Yeah.
But anyway, so this is their other big reveal from the show. So again, I just don't know. I don't know how popular this one will be, but I still think it's cool for what it is. Just different.
Yeah,
for sure. So this is the images. So they not only had at this event, they had the the actual presentation, but then they had like a slideshow presentation as well for things that are coming up. And this has been teased. So this is the first one. We were talking about the likeness earlier, and you guys kind of said that the likeness is not 100% there for you, correct?
Not for me. I think it's about 75%. It's someone who's, people joke about, oh, it's the stunt double for Cavill, that sort of thing. They hopefully they'll get it there, but I don't think it's there yet.
And these photos are really bad too, so it's hard to to know if it's a little bit better than what we're seeing here. I feel like what a lot of times with Cavill, I feel like his hair, even on like the Infinity Studios, his hair looks super wiggy.
Yep.
Like fake. And so I don't know if that's part of the problem, is getting the hair right on Cavill. I thought this was cool. You can remove the Superman logo, the plate underneath. I thought that was kind of cool. They have that one, and then they have the black suit also.
Wow.
So I did think that was great that they're going to offer both of them. I think this one will be way more popular.
So I can't tell if these are, is this rooted hair or sculpted hair, or?
This would be rooted.
So it's going to be pricey.
Yeah, this is one of their life-size silicone busts.
Yeah.
So it'll be, not cheap.
Yeah.
This was kind of a surprise. A Marvel Comics 1/4 scale Hulk. What do you guys think about this one?
So what is that all over him? Are those smoke tendrils or what?
That's what it looked like to me.
I'm not sure if that was the best choice.
Jeff's so diplomatic.
Yeah. Let's hear it, Dan. Let's hear it. Dan's like, this sucks.
No, it doesn't suck. It's just I do agree with Jeff. I think he actually put it best, where I'm not sure I agree with that choice. It doesn't, you don't immediately think that's smoke.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We all have seen sculpted smoke that looks like smoke. To me, that doesn't. It looks like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of,
Star Trek alien life form attacking the Hulk.
It does. And then it also looks like Hulk on steroids. Like, to me, he looks way overdone. But
and the head is too small because of that.
Yeah.
So what else?
The portrait looks great.
What else do you think it could be if it wasn't smoke? I'm trying to think of like what else it could be.
The only thing I could think of when I saw this was, I wonder if it comes from a specific cover where the smoke is drawn like that.
Could be.
You know what I mean? That, like, I've seen statue companies sometimes do that. One of the ways, the other one that comes to mind is your Harley Quinn, Chris, the roller skater Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Where they painted her hair green instead of blue.
Right.
Because it looked green on the cover.
Correct.
I thought that was kind of a miss.
A miss.
It should have been blue. But
100%.
So I wonder if that's a similar case here. Like, I love the old original portrait. I love Grey Hulk.
I was going to say, I like this one better than the green.
Yeah, because the smoke you don't see the contrast as much.
Yeah.
And the portrait's different.
And the
portrait's different.
Yeah.
And then they also have a red.
Yeah.
Now, see, I'm more okay with the red being overly raged out like this.
Right.
But.
Well, and I don't understand because like over here it's white, but over here it's like fiery red.
It's fire.
Oh, interesting.
Fire and smoke.
So I don't know if it lights up maybe.
Oh,
this is clearly different than it is over here.
Well, that being the case, my suggestion is to them to paint it. Or I wonder if you have that option. Like, I wonder if that's not lit up. I wonder if that's.
I wonder if it lights up on all three and it's supposed to be fire.
It could be. Well, that could be interesting then.
Yeah.
Would that change your mind if it was fire, like a fire effect on it?
No, because I don't turn my light ups on hardly ever.
Oh, that's very true.
I do sometimes, but most of the time, no. But it would still be a no for me, just because I would always think of look at this as like a tiny head. That would always bother me.
Tiny head.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny head. Oh, I love it. Speaking of not tiny.
What the crap?
Okay, so
I'm getting 2 of these.
I told Jeff this earlier. I said I showed my wife this morning, and I said, "Hey, can we put this in our bedroom?" and she's like, "It won't fit." I'm like I'll make it fit. Look at this. Think how ridiculous this thing is. This has this has art statue collector all over it.
Oh yeah. I think they made it
he's the only one I could think that would add this to their collection. But I mean, it's incredible. But oh my god!
I mean, what are we thinking? This has to be.
Well, it's 3.4 meters. What does that turn out to be?
12
Too damn big.
About 12 feet, I think. 11, 12 feet.
Do you think the shipping would be like 10 grand on just the shipping alone?
Good question.
I said like a regular Iron Man was like 10 to 12 grand, I think. What would this cost?
I gotta believe this is 25, 30 grand.
His leg, look at this, Dan. His leg is the size of an Iron Man.
It's an iron, right?
His leg. Compared to that dude.
Yeah. And how is he constructed such that it doesn't cost you $5,000 to $8,000 to ship it?
Right. I'm dumbfounded by it. I think it's awesome.
Justin's collection says at the event they announced it would be 50 grand.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Is Justin's collections in the house?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
50 grand.
That's nuts.
But where would you put it?
On the front lawn.
On your front lawn, so it's weatherproofed.
Jeez.
I mean, even if you have a room big enough, even think about it. Even in art statue collector space, which is gigantic, this is going to take up a lot of room.
I mean, I don't even know if he would want something this big. Because
guys, just put it in your ballroom.
Yeah.
Oh. Don't we all have ballrooms?
Yeah,
sure.
My Hulk wing.
There you
Hulkbuster wing.
Hulkbuster wing.
Gee, many Christmas. I just can't believe they're doing it.
And I also, by the way,
Iron Stark made a good point. How do you assemble this thing?
I was just gonna say, how do you put it together? I mean,
you're gonna need a team.
You guys saw Art's. You saw his video of him putting together the life-size Iron Man.
Yeah, and they were struggling.
And they were struggling with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said it's how heavy it is. Like it's super heavy.
This is way bigger.
Way bigger. I mean, this is again at least 3 of those statues together.
Yeah.
My
Need
God.
a crane. Oh, someone here said that in the chat with a crane.
Yeah.
Crane, yeah.
Exactly right. They also unveiled a half-scale Mark III normal version. I thought this looked pretty good at half scale. I mean, all of their Iron Man stuff has looked really good.
What's a normal version?
I don't know if they actually. I don't think they showed an abnormal version. Whatever
like
that
battle
might
damage,
be.
maybe battle damage versus not.
Oh, maybe so. I bet there's going to be a battle damage. So anyway, that's half scale from them as well.
That looks nice.
I think so too. Like I said, I've been impressed with all of their Iron Man stuff.
Oh, I like the hand swap out too with the gauntlet rocket launcher thing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There. Again, I apologize, guys. These are just like literal screen grabs, basically.
Yeah, that looks good.
Then they were doing the Mark III life-size statue. So, I mean, look at that. That's ginormous. And then you got that.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like it's as big as one of the legs of the Hulkbuster.
Not even close.
Which it wouldn't be, right? Because he's supposed to be able to fit inside the thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
That's. I hope somebody buys it and shoots video of it for us.
Yeah, I say I would love to see it. I mean, God bless whoever has it.
Yep.
And God bless their divorce attorney.
Yeah. 50 G's. Wow.
50 G.
Wow. Another T-Rex.
Yeah, another T-Rex. I feel like this is a lot of companies are doing T-Rex kind of to death lately. This is from Jurassic World Dominion. I don't know. They must sell well.
They must, yeah.
Because there's so many companies doing dinosaurs. I mean, and I know Dan, you've collected them before. They're fantastic.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, I mean they're great, and I think they have their own niche. Like, we focus on superheroes and Batman, and but my guess is there's a pretty good collector community for Dinosauria. I think they call it, right? So.
Do you think this looks good as, let's say, the Prime 1 ones?
The prime one, I'm trying to think. The prime ones, the full scale, not whatever the full scale. It's the larger diorama.
Yeah.
Which looks like a really cool piece. It seemed to have a little bit more, more colors, different colors incorporated into it than this. This seems a little more uniform in color. But the sculpt looks great. The mouth looks great. The teeth, I like the crushing the car thing.
Yeah, I was going to say the pose is really cool.
Kind of harkens back to the first Jurassic Park movie. That looks like a big piece. I wonder what size that is.
I don't know the scale, but it does look large.
I have a 1/10 T-Rex, and it's almost 4 feet long.
Wow. That's
kind
crazy.
of in a very similar pose to this, where the tail is kind of straight out.
It's a big piece.
And mine's not even leaning forward quite as much as this at the head, and it's 4 feet long.
Wow.
And it's funny, they did the tail the same way. My tail they turned the very end like that. So
I do like the light up. I think the light up's neat on the base.
Mm-hmm.
That does.
It has that amber effect.
Yep. Yeah,
which is
I
nice.
like that.
I prefer these when they include one of the human characters just for scale.
Yeah. So anyway, that was kind of basically the main 4 pieces that they showed in terms of new statues. They also showed busts, which I haven't seen any photos of them from anyone. I don't know why, but they're the exact same ones that we saw, that Jeff and I saw in San Diego.
I think that's why.
I think that's why too. But still, you would think that somebody would take some photos of them.
So they had Loki, Captain America,
Spider-Man,
and Spider-Man, right?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange. I was really hoping that we would see
Thor,
but no Thor. I really thought they'd have him.
Wow,
there.
that seems like a big missed opportunity, doesn't it?
I agree, because that's their big new one.
I think they've got a problem with that piece, because you've got armless Thor with Captain America with both arms,
right,
and holding the hammer.
Right.
Well, I think Thor is not going to look very good displayed next to that cap.
It looks small.
That's where I think that they started out with busts like Black Panther, which looks great. You've got the Vision, which looked great. A lot of different non-armed busts. Well, then they kind of buckled under pressure for Cap. And I think that's kind of, again, put them in a really tough spot, because what do you do if you want them to look good together? To me, I'm either an arm or a not armed person. I feel like if you're going to go arms, you got to go all in on arms. If you just like the torsos, you got to go all in on torsos.
I wonder with Thor if it was a cost containment thing, because my guess is his portrait, having a beard and the whole bit, probably expensive from the hand punched hair standpoint.
For sure.
And then, also Thor's arms in that suit that he's got on are bare. So you're talking silicone arms or arm.
Right.
I imagine, and he's already pretty expensive. Was he $3,400 or something?
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that.
So I gotta believe you put an arm on there, you're probably adding at least $1,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I think this is my one minor complaint about Queen Studios overall, is that they're very scattershot when it comes to scaling, when it comes to uniformity of lines. And to me, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Well, and it'll cost them sales that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be diehard collectors that'll collect everything. But I think, especially now, we've talked about it before, where people have to be real choosy these days with the economy. And I think they're going to want uniformity, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This was another piece. So I have no idea what this is called, but this was a piece that they did a year or two ago. And they're continuing the line. So this is the second in the line. Again, I can't remember what the name is. It's kind of like these doll robot type characters. But this is a new one that is coming out for anyone interested in that line. Again, I apologize. I have no idea what it's called. Maybe somebody in the line does, but it's kind of, I don't know, is it anime?
It kind of looks that way.
Yeah. So
I know less than you.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole lot of less then.
It looks well done.
Yeah.
I have kind of a visceral negative reaction to these, because it always looks like a 14-year-old's portrait
Yep.
on a 21-year-old's body. That
Yep.
always seems a little queasy to me.
Yep.
Completely agree.
Yep. I 100%.
And she looks in distress, actually. And that's
She does.
not
Well, she's
good
got, I think, like handcuffs in her briefcase or something. So
yeah, the whole thing is kind of,
yeah.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. How about we move on to this guy?
I thought that looked good.
I did too. So this is the INART. This is, I still think this is a prototype, I think. But this is the first time we actually get to kind of see it live in person. Love the base, love the accessories. I think they did a really nice job on the tailoring. I'm not sure if the portrait for me is still 100%, but I still think it looks good. You have the rooted hair. I'm pretty hard to please when it comes to Ledger Joker. I still think either Queen or I think the Queen 3rd scale, quarter scale, or the Prime 1 3rd scale to me is better than this likeness wise, but I still think it looks good, especially from a distance.
Art was saying on the live stream, it's exactly the quarter scale, but smaller.
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, you can pose it though. I do think that the quarter scale has a little bit better likeness, just slightly. At least that's just my opinion. Again, you can disagree with me, guys. But I think these are going to be real popular among collectors. And I do think that if this is the quality that they're putting out, that this is definitely some Hot Toys competition at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How much was this one? What was the retail?
Oh,
it's a lot.
It's a lot because I think you get 2.
Isn't it like 900 to 1,000?
Oh,
something
you
like
buy
that.
2 together.
But you get
right.
2 together. I think this one looks better than this one.
The portrait, for sure.
The portrait.
Yeah.
I think the portrait looks really good here. Again, this
that
is the
looks better
rooted
than
hair.
Sideshows.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it looks really good.
I think it looks better than their 1/3.
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
The portrait's great.
Yeah.
This is the other one. So again, I just feel like maybe it's not 100% there for me, but still looks good. But yeah, this one, that one looks good.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one's maybe also a little too clean. I would have liked to see some.
I was just going to say he's kind of clean.
Yeah, he needs some weathering on the coat. But of course, you could do that. That's something you could do on your own. This is I think a screenshot from Justin's Collections. I think that had an early sample. There's a rumor that I might be getting an early sample as well. So stay tuned.
That looks really good. That one.
Yeah.
But at that price point, though, are they really competition for Hot Toys? Because Hot Toys is like what, $300?
Well, and that's the good point. And I think though, I don't think they're a competition yet. But what I'm saying is, I think that if they continue on, and then that over time the price point goes down a little bit, which I'm assuming it would.
Yeah.
Because they're just testing the waters right now. I could see them, being some competition. But I don't think they are right yet.
Yeah.
Here is a photo next to the old school Hot Toys, just to see the kind of the difference of how they've come along. This was the standard bearer for a very long time. That's the bank robber Joker, I think. No, maybe not. No, that's the DX. I'm sorry. It does look like there's maybe a little bit of weathering on the outside of that. That I don't know. Looks good though.
I agree.
They also had the Batman on display, and I think he looked really good.
So the big question for me from this whole event is, what the heck are those cases?
I know, I love them.
Those look cool.
I love the cases. And I wonder if INART will sell them.
Oh, look at that.
They should.
They should. They absolutely should. I think they're really good. And they really put a focus on the character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a great idea. I think this looks pretty good. Not perfect, but still good.
Mm-hmm.
You also had the Bruce Wayne. This, I think, was the sculpted hair.
That looks off.
There's a little bit better photo. It just looks a little soft to me, like a little bit, I don't know, cheap doll-like, I guess, to me. But it also could be the photo.
Yeah.
Again, it's under glass. I just feel like that looks a little off to me too.
This looks like a head in a laboratory.
Yeah, it's Walt Disney's frozen head.
I think it's kind of cool.
It is.
I wonder if
like some of those.
I wonder if you get this case with it. Because where do you buy that thing?
No, that's yeah.
Surely you get that with it.
No, you do. They showed a photo of the insert with all the pieces in it, and that's how the heads were in there in those little
Oh wow.
thingies.
Little plastic dome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's fun. I do see him there. I mean, I definitely see Robert Pattinson, but I don't know. It comes with a couple of the cards, some money. I thought the money was funny. Just got a pocket of money.
Maybe he looks too neat and clean there. He was always kind of in the movie, kind of funky and 5 o'clock shadowy and
yeah. I feel like the shirt and tie look a little, I don't know. Doesn't look very good. This doesn't look quality to me, but again, the photos could be deceiving. Yeah, there's a better photo of the accessories. I do like the Wayne logo on the front. I think that's a nice touch. But I do think it looks fun. I think this will be a fun collectible piece for sure. It's got a couple different mouth swap outs. So it looks good. Although I'm way more excited about my Hot Toy or my Prime 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although this would have been cool to have that pose in the Prime 1. I would say that.
Yeah.
Would have been kind of cool. Yeah, it's a cool pose on him. Again, close up of some of the accessories. You get the playing cards, you get the Batarang, flashlight. They also had a new Pennywise there as well in 6 scale. Oh, that looked pretty good.
That looks really good.
That looks really good. I agree.
So this is their photo, and this is another photo from Secret Compass. They were there also. So give you a little bit of different lighting perspective, but I think the sculpt looks really good. So I don't think we've ever seen this one out and about.
Yeah, it looks better with the natural light. That looks great.
Yeah, this with this natural light here.
Yeah, no, the other one.
The other one.
The
Yeah.
natural light. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have some sort of yellow light on this one.
Yep.
Gandalf looks really great. I think you can see him even better here. Look at that portrait.
Yeah, that's a really good likeness.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So I feel like they're doing really nice work. You know, when collectors get them in hand, that's one thing, I suppose, but I'm excited for them. I hope they do well.
So explain to me, what is INART? Is this a separate company using Queen Studios license, or is this just Queen Studios rebranding their 1/6 as INART?
As far as I know, it is Queen Studios rebranding, kind of like an offshoot of themselves.
Okay.
To separate themselves out. So like, I think Queen Studios wants to be known as the statues and the bus and whatever. And I think they want INART to be Hot Toys competition. You know, that's what I think.
Yep.
At least that's what I've gathered. I don't think there was an existing INART company before this. I could be wrong. If somebody knows, correct me, but I think it's just an offshoot. This is kind of how they had their setup. They just had it up on some tables and some podiums and things to show collectors at the show. It looks like these all light up too, these boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Oh, that's maybe why that's yellow. So maybe you can change the color inside of the box. That's really neat.
So, yeah, I'm sure there are LEDs that you can just change.
Yeah.
But what was the big wow? Like, what was the big event at this thing? Was there one, or one that was supposed to be?
Well, I like Jeff said, like his expectations were exactly what we were promised. I mean, because they kind of teased exactly what we were going to see. I personally thought we were going to see a whole hell of a lot more. But that's just me being like, oh, surprise, guys. We also brought this, and we brought this, and we brought this, but that didn't happen. So basically, the event was they really promoted it to be INART for the very first time in public in the United States.
Okay.
That does not interest me as much because I'm not a figure collector. I am a statue collector. So to each their own, you know, God bless, you know, whatever. So whenever I just look at it as a statue event, busts are incredible, and seeing them in person, your jaw hits the floor. But unfortunately, I had already seen them. Jeff had already seen them.
Yeah.
And so if maybe 3 or 4 new busts had been there, I'd be like, okay, this is pretty badass. But we didn't get any new busts there. So what we did get 4 statues. We got the dinosaur, we got the Joker, we got the Henry Cavill Superman, and we got the Batman. I think that's 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like a lot, like they had this showcase event in Las Vegas, promoted the hell out, like it was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't seem like they brought a ton, given that.
I agree.
And we were talking about this earlier again, and I was actually talking with another statue company earlier. Just the fact that you had what looked to be, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe 20 to 30 people at this event versus 200,000 people a day at New York.
Yep.
I don't understand why they would not have wanted all of those eyes on those busts. Maybe not. Maybe they could care less about the statues. I don't know. But just the reaction that I saw in San Diego, being in that Queen Studios booth, I know Jeff saw it too. Like, people were taking photos left and right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was an attraction to see these things, because these are better than Madame Tussauds. Like, this is
Right.
And we saw people taking photos with those Madame Tussauds ones at New York. Like, there was that big Marvel booth where they had Loki, which I didn't think was very good at all.
Nope.
It was awful, but people loved them. And to see the reaction in San Diego was incredible. I don't understand why they wouldn't have wanted that. Unless I did not get the statue memorandum that said, hey, no one's coming this year. Clearly every statue company got that memo for whatever reason. Don't come. But I don't know. Are you guys with me on that? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. I haven't understood it from the beginning. I don't. You've got your opportunity to create collectors for Queen. That's still a young company. I would think it's just that from an exposure standpoint alone, it's worth it. But okay.
So
And you know what? They did that contest like a year or 2 ago, where they had the fans choose which comic-based Batman they should produce.
Yep.
What happened to that?
Nothing.
Nothing. I've asked John to come back on. He would like to come back on, and maybe we can ask him some of those questions. I feel like he's the kind of guy that was, they're pretty straightforward. They shoot from the hip. They're like, oh, this is why we did this. This is why we did that. This is why we haven't done this yet. So I'd like to have him on the show soon and kind of pick his brain about what they thought, like how they thought it went. It's definitely good to like connect with your fans. I think that's great. Clearly some of those guys are some hardcore Queen Studios collectors. So I think, from that aspect, I'm sure that there was some networking involved, and, I think that, maybe some deals were made and things like that. And so I think from that side of things, it's good. But I also think if you're trying to promote your product, you want to do it in the biggest way and the most exciting way possible.
For sure.
And
I wonder if they thought Vegas was going to be a bigger draw than it turned out to be. For me, I live about a 5-hour drive from Vegas. And the fun thing about that town for me is that the hotels were always dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Even a nice hotel was dirt cheap because they wanted to get you there to gamble. But they're not now. It was $400 for a hotel for this thing. And I'm not going to drive 5 hours each way over one weekend and spend $400 for a hotel to see mostly stuff I already saw in San Diego and at WonderCon.
Yeah. And you wonder how many people that were at the Vegas event saw the same thing at San Diego being so close.
Yeah.
But again, I think the draw were for a lot of people were the INART figures. And again, they looked great. I'm glad people got to see them. When it wouldn't have been what drove me there. But I did think the Batman looked good. I think Superman looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that they do him in a regular costume. Joker, hit or miss for people, I think. And again, the dinosaur is cool, but not something I collect, or I don't think most of us on this channel collect that are watching. So Ryan Eckholt says $2 super chat. Thank you very much. My big question is, when is the next Prime 1 event? So we have not heard anything. I just keep hearing fall. We are officially in fall, so hopefully here soon we will hear something, because I know for sure that I know these gentlemen, I'm sure, will also want to live react with me, because those are always a blast.
Well, and did you say, I don't recall, they're going back to their previous format, or have they not committed to that?
I don't think they've committed to that. I had a really good conversation with John about it at San Diego, and kind of explaining why they did what they did. But he didn't confirm or deny anything.
Because that was awful. That would be a pass for me. I would not want to sit through that again. It was painful.
Yeah, painful. It was brutal. I think that they wanted to. I don't know. I would hope that they would go back and consider after the feedback.
I mean, I consider us, on Rogues Gallery, the five of us, we have common interest in what we collect, certainly, but I think we all can appreciate other, fandoms and, that kind of thing. And we still, between the five of us, had a hard time keeping a dialogue going, commentary, I should say, through that show. It was brutal. It was really hard.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was just such an odd format. So I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll go back to the regular format. But I'm very excited to see what new reveals. Although there's been a lot of reveals from the previous shows we haven't had up on pre-order yet, which is the typical story. But hopefully that'll push some of those things along. Like the Killer Croc and Batman, I could see them finally showing that off again and actually showing it what it's going to look like and things like that.
Oh yeah, yep.
But anyway, going back to the, what you said about what was the big draw of the show, and I don't know if there was a big giant draw,
or a big surprise. You know what I mean? Like a wow factor. You spent the money to bring your company out to Vegas, and I'm sure it wasn't cheap.
Well, they flew all the way from their home country too to be there, and and that was the biggest thing for me. Again, just like New York, the best part was hanging out with you guys, to meeting everybody, and so that would have been a fun thing to do. But again, there wasn't very many people there anyway, so it's like
there were some pictures on Facebook of some after hours revelry.
Yeah,
I think way more alcohol was consumed with that group of people than actually looking at statues. But they look like they had a blast, and so and that's what it's all about. It's not always about the art; it's about the community as well. So that's a big part of it. If how often do we get a chance to all hang out together and do stuff like that? So
sure,
I'm glad they all had a good time. But anyway, it was fun to look at the art. It's fun to see new stuff. Again, I know a lot of people were excited about certain pieces, and that's great.
Yeah.
Nothing for me necessarily personally that I don't think I would buy any of it this particular go around, but next go around, who knows? I might buy everything. You never know. I'm trying to stay away from movie pieces as much as possible, because that's a whole nother thing. But
it's so easy to get sucked in.
Delaney, tell us about it.
So easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, Delaney's going to have to change it to the secret movie sanctuary here pretty soon. Or just, but the movie pieces, that's the thing about them, is they're just getting to be so damn good.
Yeah.
Across the board from everybody. I mean, it's not just one company. Everybody's doing a really nice job. Even companies that we thought didn't look so good, like with that Weta Joker, but seeing it in New York, I'm like, I still keep thinking about that piece. I'm like, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He'd look good next to that Queen Studios Nightmare Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, it sure would. It would. So anyway, guys, I just want to thank. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or we kind of talked about it enough?
That's about it. I uploaded my Museum Wonder Woman review last night, so if anybody hasn't seen that, please check that out.
Yep,
I watched it on the plane. That is a beautiful piece, man.
It's pretty nice. Like I said in the video, it's kind of a message to other statue companies. You can put out a reasonably priced quality statue that'll be a big success.
By a great artist, by the way, great artist.
Yeah.
I did not, since I got in late with the concert last night, I didn't have a chance to watch it, but that's on my list probably right after this. So can't wait. Whenever you first said you were getting the Wonder Woman, I thought it was the other one though. I thought it was the. Well,
you know what? I thought I was getting both. But I think maybe I misunderstood Todd when we had our conversation, and Wonder Woman, the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, I think is still to come.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've ever been more anticipating a review from you than that one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're so excited to see that piece. So
It's nice.
yeah, it's such a beautiful piece. So
The other
anyway,
thing I'd say is I got notified from Sideshow that my Dark Side Captain Kirk is delayed. So, you know, Sideshow now is sending those 15% off
Yeah, they are.
coupons when they give you that notification. So I'm trying to find something to buy. And they shipped out Nightcrawler to some folks yesterday, but it didn't go in stock. So I think it's coming in batches. So I'm kind of hoping it would come into stock before my discount thing expires.
yeah, what a great deal though that they send that out. That's been very nice.
And you know what I figured out? I tested it the other day. It works on seconds pieces.
Really?
So you'd be at 30% off.
Wow.
Sold.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And I hope something of mine's delayed soon then. That'd be great.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to send me another one for RoboCop because that got delayed like 9 months.
Yeah. And I had a really good conversation the other day with Darkside, and they were talking about some of their frustrations. And one thing they brought up was the factories. And so they're, you know, where they are, factories are still just now opening back up.
Wow.
Oh.
And they said that it's been really frustrating because the factories opened up first to long time customers.
Yeah.
And everybody that was new, they're like, sorry.
Yep.
And so they're just now getting back into the game. And so they were really happy about that. But I mean, I can only imagine how frustrated they're trying to get going. They're trying to get off the ground, and then they can't get their stuff made. So they did want to apologize to the fans for, they know they're just as frustrated as you know, we are with the delays, but it's all beholden on the factories these days. So
sure,
it is what it is. And, you know, it's like we've been back to business and everything's been open for quite a long time, but I forget that there's countries that are still just now getting things back open. So it's got to be pretty frustrating on their part.
no doubt.
And like Ryan says, well, if only Detective Comics Fabok piece was on seconds, and I think it was. I think
there was one.
There was one on seconds, and it went fast. There was one. There was one of those, and one of the Harley, Arkham City Harley, and it went fast.
Yeah,
really fast. And Sebastian says Jeff needs the Fabok Batman. I mean, everybody else has bought it. I mean, Eric's bought it, Dan's bought it, I've bought it. You can see how kick-ass it looks back there in the back. No pressure, Jeff. No pressure.
Everybody needs the Swamp Thing from XM.
Man, that is a great piece.
Yeah.
And really low ES.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. On seconds, and it went out in seconds. So you're exactly right, Dusk. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Dan, have a great business trip. Hopefully you don't have to work too hard.
No, not too bad. I'll see you guys. The plan is Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. So definitely join us. It'll be Dan, myself, Jeff. You can join us if you want. We also have Eric. So Eric and Dan are both going to be double live unboxing. And I've heard this rumor that maybe Art Statue Collector a triple unboxing. Is that possible?
Oh, really? He did say yesterday on the show, he said when he talked about when his was coming in, it was like the same time.
So we'll see. Awesome. I'll contact him. I mean, God, triple unboxing, that'd be pretty insane. So
what time of the day would it be for him?
It'd be middle of the night.
Yeah, which is typical. That's usually when he does these shows. So that's which is hard. So we'll see. I'll see what he says. But anyway, we'll definitely have Eric and Dan.
Yeah. Someone in the chat wants my email. It's jeffdelaney949@gmail.com.
Yep, absolutely. And if you forget it, just go back to any of our auction shows. Speaking of auction shows, I'll announce it here too, that our auction show is going to be on the 26th. It's not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. And that will be, so 1 week after the double live unboxing, it will be our Halloween auction show. So we're going to be dressed for Halloween and doing some auction stuff. I know we have a lot of good auction stuff from New York Comic Con. And who knows what these fine fellows always pull out of their secret compartments and always have incredible things. And God, we usually end up just buying ourselves pieces from each other. I'm sure that'll happen as well. Yeah, it always happens. So anyway, definitely join us for that. And then the week after that, we have special guest Daniel Bell on the program. So a lot of great content coming up. And definitely, please, after this is done, please go right over to Secret Sanctuary and watch his Wonder Woman review if you haven't done so already. Anyway, if you want to see Dan up here yesterday on Art Statue Collectors channel, you can do that as he unboxed his Batman on Throne. It's always great to actually the whole first half was basically get to know Dan.
Yeah,
which
it was fun.
great.
I did not expect that, by the way.
Yeah, that was actually really that was one of my favorite parts is just listening to Dan talk. So it was a lot of fun. So check out that as well. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Go Chiefs, and we'll see you in the back cave. Bye everybody.
Guys.
Bye guys.
Bye-bye.